you doing, everybody? All right? Good to be here. Yes, last show I did was in Staten Island, and even though I'm from there, I'm afraid to go back after that last show. I said to the owner, I said, "So how about a return engagement?" He said, "I'd rather have the hurricane come back." At this part of my act, I usually do say something, snarky about Staten Island, but I don't think we should do that now, right? Not with all the devastation, all the suffering. However, on the other hand, if ever an island needed a good bath, I'm just kidding about that. My last show was for the Wounded Warriors. And after the show, I says to the guy, I says, "Hey, soldier, how'd you like my act?" He said, "It made him miss Afghanistan." Movies, I don't get to go much because I got a little son now. I only get to go to cartoon movies. But this movie came out a few months ago, Magic Mike. And it was a movie about male strippers, right? It got good reviews. So I said, what the heck, I'll take my wife to see the show. And when those guys started jumping around and pulling off their shirts, she got excited. She put a hand on the front of my pants, gave me an erection, which I didn't want to have during a movie about male strippers. I like to read. Found a book, the biography of Dr. Jack Kevorkian. It's 1,360 pages long, but I'm going to finish reading it if it kills me. That joke is going to kill me one of these days. I know the groaner. I know the groaner is coming. It's like a toothache. You can't help it, right? I got a little boy, like I mentioned, and he's turned 7. We had his birthday party today. And his vocabulary is really growing. He's gone from saying to me, "Daddy, you're not cool," to using the compound word, "Daddy, you're uncool. And you're ugly and stupid also." I'm like, that's okay. When he gets a little bit better at math, he'll be able to figure out his mother and I got married only 5 months before he was born. I'm not trying to imply I got my wife pregnant out of wedlock. She was married at the time. My wife is from England. I'm from Staten Island. My wife is from England. And sometimes when we're making out, I like to pretend she's one of the Beatles. Before they had the beards and mustaches and all that. Though that might come in handy too someday. But she had that accent, so soft and seductive. The first time I called her for a date, she said, "Let me check my schedule." It was such a turn on. Right after the first time, she called me a bloody twit! Then on our second date, like I said, it was okay when it was just the two of us. Now we got this little boy. I'm afraid he's going to wind up in speech therapy because he calls it the Home Depot. English people can be pretty cool customers, too. Sometimes when my wife and I are making love, it's with all the passion of someone switching out a printer cartridge. Takes about as long. But there's still those other times where the old spark hits, But we have this kid, and I don't want to wake him up. She starts whooping and hollering when I'm, having sex with her. She starts whooping and hollering. I got to put my hand over her mouth, which I actually enjoy more than the rest of the sex. It's the best part. I don't even want to move my arm right now. It still feels that good. This is like me masturbating in front of people, which I haven't done since I met my wife 10 years ago. We've been married for 7 years, but she says 10 years. I'll be like, we got married in 2005, right? And she'd be like, "I've been married to you for 10 years! 10 years putting up with this nonsense!" I was like, we've only been married 7 years. How do you put up a 40% markup? One thing, I used to hear the old married comedians saying that what happens after a certain amount of time is the cessation of the administration of oral copulation. I used to go, that's not true, but it's becoming true for me. Yes, she has, the administration of oral copulation. It sounds like an Obama government program. Maybe we'll get there someday. Hey, why not? Yeah, she's like, well, I already got the job, so why do I got to keep resubmitting my resume? But I want to do it to her still, because to me that's just not, cunnilingus. That's me. That's when I get to be the orchestra conductor, I start off with a Largo movement. You move into the Allegro, and end on a Ramones song. I'm glad some of you ladies know what I'm talking about. You were talking about the Facebook thing. I actually became friends with my first wife on Facebook. My ex-wife, my first wife. So now she only hates me as a friend. Because I'm in my mid to late 40s. I'm 53. I realized I was drinking too much beer when the homeless guy who picks up my recycling bought the building next door. My dentist told me if I didn't stop drinking bourbon, it was going to cause discoloration of my teeth. I said, no, it's not. Then our neighbor told me my smile looked like a check engine light. This half of the room doesn't drive, I guess. So I went to the liquor cabinet and I pulled out the Old Crow and I poured it down the sink and I wrote in my calendar book for the next day, no more whiskey. And I looked at my calendar book the next day and I said, oh my God, no more whiskey. Gotta go to the store and get some more whiskey. How come whole wheat bread and white bread come in a bag with a twist tie you can reseal, but rye bread still comes in the same cellophane wrapper it came in 95 years ago? You know, I always feel sorry for the top slice of rye bread, because it's just going to be the lid. It's just a lid. You're not a slice of bread, you're just a lid. Had a sore throat, so I bought some Ricola. You know what Ricola are? The throat lozenge? And the company must be doing well because they actually shape it like a throat lozenge now. Because the way I remember Ricola was like a honey and lemon flavored Lego block. You stick it in your mouth, it caused more pain than it alleviated. 10 minutes later, you're like, oh, my sore throat is gone. But the roof of my mouth is bleeding. And hanging down like the ceiling of my '89 Buick Regal. I used to smoke cigarettes, gave those up, feel pretty good about it. Because I still smoke in my sleep. Not real cigarettes, dream cigarettes. I know they're dream cigarettes because they're $1.60 a pack. Took up golf, terrible, it's just what I needed, another sport I can't do. In high school football, I was in one play the whole season and I fumbled. I say I fumbled because I don't know the technical term for having the ball bounce off your face. Now I'm playing golf. Every shot I hit lands in the water. The most frequently used club in my bag in my club, what am I saying? Club in my bag. Most frequently used club in my bag is a snorkel. I'm drowning telling the joke as I speak. Anyway, I'm almost out of time, right?
Whatever you want to do, Beb.
Oh, Beb? Okay. Well, I'll tell you something, because I'm going to play a song.
Oh my God.
I'm not a guitar comedian, but I used to be the lead singer in a Rolling Stones tribute band.
Yeah.
But you know, you got to be skinny for that gig. Drummer comes up to me one of these days and he goes, hey, you know, maybe we should switch this to a Beatles band. I said, why is that? He said, this way you could sing I Am the Walrus. So we had a band meeting and I got kicked out. They said, Joe, we're trying to look like the Stones here, not the Rolling Calzones. Which not only added insult to injury, but made me kind of hungry. Just as well, the high cost of my hair transplants would have eaten up all our gig profits anyway. It's pretty rough when you get kicked out of a Rolling Stones band for looking too old. I tried gambling. I had no luck. I went to play the horses. I said to the guy at the ticket window, boy, those jockeys sure are small. He said, jockeys? What jockeys? This is a merry-go-round. Maybe had a little bit of a scare. My 85-year-old father was rushed to the hospital last week. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if he dies, I'm his only son. I got to deliver the eulogy. And then as a comedian, I'm thinking, what do I open up with? Of course he's fine. You don't think if my dad died, I'd be here telling jokes. I'd be with my mother. See if I can get her to lend me a few dollars. All right, I'm going to do my song here. It's not a song that I wrote, but this band came along, and they, just like when the Stones back in 1972 made me say, I don't just want to listen to that song, I have to play it, Jumpin' Jack Flash or whatever, anything. This band I just met and heard recently, and I bought their CD online, and maybe you've heard of them, but I just was like, it's not good enough just to listen to this record, I gotta be able to play it, so I'm gonna try it, all right?
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you, Joe.
I tuned up, but the room changed. You make me crazy.
Ha.
Pick me the oh,
You got it.
you make me crazy. Won't stop and ask for some direction, babe. I'm not a rental, sentimental, detrimental to you when you drive that way. Drive that way. Costing in your fancy. Don't know your way around this body. You drunk, take too much wine. That's no home for this time. You just Google Maps cause your problems not mine. Girl balls. Do you wanna date or do you wanna brawl? Give me the store for my big girl balls. I got girl balls, motherfucking girl balls. GPS bitch, find your own way. Not your fucking GPS bitch, find your own way. Not your fucking GPS bitch, find your own way. Not your fucking GPS bitch, find your own way. Don't cut me off, babe. Don't cut me off, babe. Keep it stolen, leave me out. Oh yeah. Keep it stolen, leave me out. When you both is suicidal, when you drive that way, drive that way. You lost it when you fancy. Don't throw your way around this body. Drunk, dick, too much wine. Next roll home for the very last time.